Welcome back everybody to Top Tier Studios. This is episode 20. We finally made it to 2-0, and this is a especially big episode because we're going to be finishing off an area that we started in the last episode. Now, last episode was kind of sad because I was not able to do commentary and my mic was kind of acting up. And it is doing it again. You could probably hear a hard cut right there. That was because it cut out again. So it's going to be hopefully not too choppy of a video, but I don't know how choppy it's going to end up in the end. So getting right into it, last episode we started a new roller coaster and a whole new area for that matter. So this area is going to be pretty much a combination of the surrounding areas. So that's going to include the sci-fi area and this horror/Ghostbusters area that we got going on. And you kind of think of like a scientific experiment gone wrong, and then kind of tying that into more of a horror story type thing. That's kind of where we're going to head with this ride. It is apocalyptic themed, so that's kind of helps with the theming there. And our roller coaster itself is going to be the motorbike coaster. I think that kind of really ties in with this apocalyptic theme really well, and I think we can kind of build on this story pretty well. Now there will be a POV at the end of the video for this coaster if you want to check that out. There will be a timestamp on the screen right now if you want to jump to that. So we're working on the station for the coaster right now, and that's going to kind of consist of the next couple of minutes. And basically the idea for this was just to have a pitched roof, plain and simple, but it didn't really work out that way. I couldn't find the correct pitch roof with the same details, so instead we're going with this gapped roof with some ropes in between, and then there's going to be a light hanging out, hanging from some of them to kind of give it that night lighting. So kind of interesting to see there what I'm going to do, and it's going to kind of be interesting for this video with the cutting of the voice and then going back and forth from that last video to this video. So as we finish this, the actual station here, I'll go back to what we were talking about in the last episode. This area is gonna consist of this ride, and it's also gonna consist of another ride. Well, I really wouldn't call it a ride. The rest of the park actually has multiple rides to each section. So like the city area that we first worked on, it has about 3. The horror/Ghostbusters area, it has 3. The sci-fi area has 3, I believe. And the front section that we just finished, the pirate area type thing, that one has 2. So this one actually will only have 1 real attraction that people can ride. The actual people will actually have a secondary attraction. It's not really an attraction though. I'm just gonna put a bunch of what do you call those? The Vista Points, I think they're called. I'm gonna have this, and it's pretty much gonna be like a garden walkthrough if you go to like Busch Gardens Tampa or something. So instead of it being animals though, it's gonna be this shipyard, and we made that last episode as well. So I would definitely recommend checking that out just to see how like the skeleton of this area, and then at the end of this episode you'll see it come together in its full glory. So that's what we are kind of catching up to do there, and we're finally done with the station here. We are going to kind of come back though to work on like the entrance to the actual ride, so the entrance queue and all that stuff. So basically got to put down that exit path, and that exit path is actually going to be the divider to the next area. So that's kind of where that's going to split. The next area is going to be another in-game brand, and you might be able to guess what it's going to be on based off of that. If not, don't worry about it. We will be back in the next year. And that's actually something that I wanted to talk about as well in the last episode that I didn't get to talk about. So this episode is episode 20, and I think it's kind of cool that the episode is going to be the last one for 2020. Now the reason for that is because, you know, all the holidays are coming, and it's just better to focus on anything that's going on instead of YouTube. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Hopefully you guys will be doing the same, and that means that no Planet Coaster will be coming out until next year, and that would be 2021, and that would be episode 21. So I think that's kind of cool how that worked out. So we'll just kind of go with the flow here. I am expecting to do the same type of video like once a week for Planet Coaster next year. Just kind of keeping the same pattern until we get this park done. And this park is I'm saying halfway, or more than half, actually. Yeah, so, what I have planned, basically we have a couple of areas now, and I think I have one, two, three to four big, things that I want to do. So if you kind of count that out in episodes, for 2 episodes each, that would take about 8 episodes, but knowing me, it'll take more like 10 to 15, and then at the end, I'll have a live stream where we go through the whole park when it's open, and hopefully my computer doesn't actually die. This park is getting quite big. Maybe not for people with like huge PCs and all that. I have more of like a gaming computer, a laptop type thing, so it's not able to run it 100%. So it does take a while to load up this park already. I haven't really had anything running problems, so I'm still planning on going strong so far, and I really can't wait to get this park done because I already have my next idea in place. I haven't started building it yet, but I really have a great idea that I really want to make come to life, and it's not just going to be one park, this next project, but that's all you get to know about it. So going back to what we're doing here, basically we're just doing a bunch of basic fencing here, and I have to say this is probably the my favorite fence that I've ever made, and it's just so simple, and I think it looks just so good with this theme. All I did was basically put in some wood in front of, or behind, some chain link fences, and it was dark wood, and it gets this really cool aesthetic, and I think it really works well with this apocalyptic theme, and I just like how clean it is, but also like how dangerous it looks. So that's kind of what we're at with that, and now for this entrance area, basically just 2 pillars, a sign, and it doesn't have a name yet. So if you have any name suggestions, you can definitely let me know in the comments. I will definitely take a look at them, and if I like them, they will probably end up in the park. So with that being said, we are going to finally start moving on to the actual theme of this ride. So I didn't really know what to do with the storyline. I just knew I wanted it to be apocalyptic themed. So what does that encounter, or what does that entail, I guess I should say. Basically, what comes with it is this desert theme. So I put in this dark sand, and then I'm putting in the desert rock, and then eventually we're going to put in a bunch of zombies and stuff, because I think that's really what the majority of apocalypse means, is like the zombies and stuff. So we got these rocks going in here that's going to really bring out this desert vibe, and then at the end, or well, here in a couple minutes, or seconds I should say, we're going to be putting in some foliage as well. And you know, that's really one major thing that I find helping with the theme. If you don't really know what to do, I really just kind of put down the basic terrain work. So that means painting the terrain, and putting in rocks and putting in shrubbery, and that kind of really helps you kind of build out a mold of what you want it to look like, and then from there you can go in and put animatronics in and all of that. And I do that with the dark rides. If you saw the boat ride, I made all the walls first and then went back and detailed them. So that's kind of where I go, or how I build anyway. So again, I really didn't know a storyline for this coaster until after I had pretty much got it all done. The climax is the second launch, and the intro is the first launch. I started just kind of doing the basic theming, as I said, and then I finally got to this intro area, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, I know how I want to make this look, and so I do the intro, and now I know exactly how I want the climax to look as well. So that's kind of how my thought process goes. And the theme for this ride, I guess I should tell you now, more than apocalypse, is going to be this it's like this disaster, I guess you could say. Basically, on this little circle we have here, there's going to be a bunch of barrels of biohazard chemicals, and somebody's going to shoot it, and that's right as you go by it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we got to get out of here, make sure that we're not infected and all that. So that's where the first launch goes, and then you go around a couple of turns and all that, you get to the second launch, and all of a sudden there's all these zombies around, and so you launch out of there, and then you go around the end, and then you hit the exit, and then that's it. So that's kind of where this idea came from, and now we have a full-on ride. So something that's just kind of how I build my rides. Now there is something else in this, because I kind of just laid out everything that's about to happen. We're kind of there's going to be triggered effects like with this explosion and stuff. I just have to, that's not going to be in the video because I find it a little bit more boring to watch triggered effects going in, but so I cut those out. And then There's also another building that isn't going to get put in here, and that's just a restroom block. I just kind of put it across from the exit almost in that little gap. I just put a wooden building there. Nothing too crazy, it's just a box. And I just put that in there because I feel like it's necessary for that to go in. I don't really think we have enough of those in the park, so I put that in there. And now where we're at, we are at the queue, so we're gonna actually start theming the queue now. I really shouldn't say theming. I guess I should more say making the sheds or the covers for the queue. That's what I should have said, because we already kind of put in the basic planting when we were doing the basic planting for the ride, and we did some theming as well. So that's actually going to bring us to the end of the episode. I did it. I'm so surprised I did. And we're actually going to go to a POV here in a second where you can see the ride all done. So we're just doing this last bit of queue work, and then we're sending you out of here. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode. It might have been a little harder to make, but I still like making it. So hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.